In the time of the judges, Israel had turned away from God and fell under the oppression of the Midianites. For 7 years, these raiders devastated Israel's crops and livestock, leaving the people in fear and poverty. Among them was Gideon, from the tribe of Manasseh, hiding as he threshed wheat in a winepress. Then the angel of the Lord appeared to him with an unexpected message.
The Lord is with you, mighty warrior.
But Gideon was filled with doubt. How could he, the least in his family, deliver Israel? Gideon asked for a sign. The angel touched his offering with a staff, and fire consumed it from the rock. Still uncertain, Gideon tested God with a fleece, first wet while the ground stayed dry, then dry while the ground was wet. God patiently confirmed his call. Despite his fear, Gideon obeyed. He tore down his father's altar to Baal and built an altar to the Lord. The townspeople were furious, but Gideon's obedience marked the beginning of Israel's deliverance. God gathered an army through Gideon, 32,000 men. But God had a different plan. God reduced the army, first to 10,000, then to only 300 men. This way, Israel would know that victory came by God's power, not human strength. Gideon divided his 300 men into 3 companies. At the appointed time, they surrounded the Midianite camp. They blew trumpets, smashed jars, and held up torches, shouting, "A sword for the Lord and for Gideon!" The Lord caused the Midianites to turn on one another with their swords. The enemy fled, and Israel pursued them to complete victory. God had delivered Israel through the faith and obedience of one humble man. Israel enjoyed 40 years of peace under Gideon's leadership.
I will not rule over you, nor will my son rule over you. The Lord will rule over you.
Yet even Gideon stumbled. He made a golden ephod that became a snare, leading Israel into idolatry. When Gideon died and was buried, the Israelites once again turned away from God, forgetting all he had done for them. This was the tragic cycle of the judges: disobedience, oppression, repentance, deliverance, and peace, only to fall away again. Gideon's story teaches us that God chooses ordinary and unlikely people to accomplish extraordinary purposes. Faith requires obedience, even when we feel inadequate. True victory comes through trusting God's strength, not our own. Like Gideon, we are called to step out in faith, even when the odds seem impossible. But we must also remember to remain faithful throughout our lives, keeping our focus on God alone. For when we trust in Him completely, God can use even the weakest among us to bring about His perfect victory.